In recent years, the world has experienced devastating natural disasters, social unrest, and rising political instability. Now, Mel Gibson, the famous actor and director, has come forward with a chilling warning about the future of our civilization. After the recent wildfires in Los Angeles, he has spoken out about the worrying trend that he believes is leading us to the brink of collapse. Gibson's comments may seem shocking, but they also spark a deeper conversation about the future of humanity. He argues that the signs of a societal breakdown are all around us, and that if we don't take immediate action, the worst might be yet to come. Is Gibson right to sound the alarm? Are we truly heading toward a collapse? Or is it just another overblown prediction? In this video, we'll break down Gibson's warning, explore the causes behind it, and try to understand whether there is still hope for our future. Stick with us till the end to learn more about what we can do to prevent the collapse Gibson fears and take a look at the larger trends that are affecting the world today. Mel Gibson is not just a talented actor known for his role in movies like Braveheart or The Passion of the Christ. Over the years, he has also become an outspoken figure, offering his opinions on various topics, some controversial, some thought-provoking. Recently, Gibson gave an interview where he shared his views on the state of the world, and it's hard to ignore the gravity of what he said. Gibson doesn't just see the world as facing challenges, he believes it is on the brink of total collapse. After the recent fires in Los Angeles, which ravaged thousands of acres and displaced countless people, Gibson has raised his concerns more loudly than ever. While the fires themselves are tragic, they are only the latest warning sign in a long series of events that Mel believes point to a far bigger issue: the breakdown of civilization as we know it. For Mel Gibson, the fires are not just a local disaster, they are a reflection of a much deeper issue. He believes that the increasing frequency and severity of these disasters signal that the world is in a state of decline. In his mind, this isn't just a problem of environmental destruction, it's a signal that we are losing control over the very systems that keep society running. Mel Gibson's warning about civilization's collapse isn't coming from nowhere. Over the past few decades, there have been a number of global events that seem to point toward a world in decline. These events aren't isolated, and they often feel connected. Here are some of the key warning signs that Gibson, along with many others, sees as evidence that we are heading in the wrong direction. There's no denying that climate change is one of the biggest threats facing humanity today. Over the past few years, we've seen extreme weather patterns that have become all too common. From wildfires in California to deadly floods in Europe and Asia, the effects of global warming are already apparent. Mel Gibson, like many others, believes that the world's leaders have failed to take meaningful action to curb climate change, and this lack of action is putting us at risk. The wildfires that recently devastated Los Angeles are just one example of how natural disasters are becoming more extreme. Every year, wildfires in California seem to burn more land, cause more destruction, and displace more people. The damage to property and lives is heartbreaking, but what's even more frightening is that these events are becoming more frequent, not less. Across the globe, wildfires, hurricanes, floods, and other natural disasters are becoming more intense and widespread. Gibson believes that these disasters are not random. They're a sign that the world is in crisis. Across the globe, there is a growing sense of political instability. From mass protests in various countries to growing divisions between political parties, it's clear that many nations are struggling to maintain peace and order. Gibson's warning is tied to this unrest. He believes that political instability is not just an inconvenience. It is a fundamental sign that the systems that hold societies together are breaking down. When countries are unable to find common ground, it becomes harder for them to deal with bigger challenges, like climate change, poverty, or global conflicts. The global economy has been under pressure for years. In many countries, wages are stagnant, while the cost of living continues to rise. This imbalance has led to increased frustration and inequality. People are struggling to make ends meet, and the wealth gap between the rich and the poor continues to widen. This economic instability creates a sense of fear and uncertainty, both for individuals and for countries as a whole. Mel Gibson points out that this economic instability is contributing to the overall decline of civilization. Without a stable economy, societies are unable to thrive. Mel Gibson's concerns about civilization's collapse are not just based on the headlines. He's spent years observing the world, and over time he's become increasingly alarmed by the way things are heading. For Gibson, the world is losing its moral and ethical compass. In his view, societies have become too focused on material success, instant gratification, and shallow values. The traditional values of hard work, responsibility, and respect are being replaced by a culture that values entertainment, consumerism, and individualism over the collective good. In addition to this shift in values, Gibson also believes that people have become too disconnected from the natural world. With technology advancing rapidly, many people are no longer in touch with nature or the consequences of their actions. As people become more consumed by their digital lives, they lose sight of the real-world issues that affect us all. For Gibson, this disconnect between people and their environment is a major contributor to the larger problem. It is, in his view, one of the reasons why society is becoming more fragile and more prone to collapse. One of the biggest questions that people have when faced with a warning like Gibson's is it too late to make a difference? Mel Gibson isn't the only one who sees the world as heading toward collapse. Experts from all over the globe have pointed out the warning signs, and many have urged immediate action. But is there still time to change course? The answer, according to Gibson, is yes. While the situation is urgent, he believes that there's still time to turn things around. However, he's quick to point out that the longer we wait, the harder it will be to fix things. He believes that we need a drastic change in our mindset and actions to avoid the inevitable collapse that he fears. According to Gibson, it all starts with people realizing the gravity of the situation. Once enough people understand the dangers we face, we can start making the necessary changes. However, these changes won't happen unless individuals, communities, and nations work together. It's not enough to wait for someone else to fix the problem. It's up to all of us to make a difference. While Mel Gibson's warning is serious, it's not without hope. There are things we can do, both individually and as a society, to prevent the collapse of civilization. Here are some actions that we can take. One of the most immediate actions we can take is to fight climate change. This means reducing our carbon footprint, supporting sustainable practices, and advocating for policies that promote environmental protection. Every small action counts, whether it's using less plastic, driving less, or supporting companies that prioritize the environment. As Gibson suggests, the strength of our communities is key to resilience. When disasters strike, it's the people around us who will help us get through tough times. That's why it's so important to build strong relationships with our neighbors, help out when we can, and support each other. A strong community is far more capable of withstanding challenges than one that is fragmented. Politics play a huge role in shaping the future. If we want to change the direction of society, it's crucial to get involved in the political process. Voting, supporting candidates who prioritize the future, and holding leaders accountable are just a few ways we can ensure that our voices are heard. Finally, it's important to live a life that is grounded in purpose. Instead of chasing after fleeting material success, we should focus on what truly matters: helping others, building meaningful relationships, and living in harmony with the planet. This shift in values can help to restore the foundation of society. Mel Gibson's warning about the collapse of civilization is unsettling, but it's a wake-up call that we can't ignore. The signs of decline are all around us, from natural disasters to political instability to economic hardship. However, the good news is that we still have time to make a change. If we act now and work together, we can prevent the collapse that Gibson fears. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you agree with Mel Gibson's warning? Do you think our civilization is heading toward collapse? What steps do you think we should take to prevent disaster? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters, and together we can make a difference. Before you go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, the future is in our hands. Let's work together to create a better world for future generations.